So life is going to throw you off. Your perspective, how you see it, is going to determine what happens, how you react to it. Watch his perspective and how he reacts to meeting Edmond Dantes. Remember, he says, with the two of us, we could do it in 8 years. That's a man with goal and purpose. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard, but he says with the two of us, he sees it as a bright spot. He sees it as a gift from God that he has met Edmond Dantes and they can do it together now. What does Edmond do when he says that? Edmond laughs. He's given up. And the great line that Richard Harris says back to Jim Caviezel is something else demand your time? I mean, that's a great line, right? That's a fantastic line. And he says, freedom can be taken away, as you well know, but I offer you knowledge. I will teach you economics, philosophy, science. So this is a mentor friend coming along, right? Because men need mentors. He's the student and the friend. And he says to read and write. Of course. When do we start? Now Edmund's all into a purpose. He wants to get better. He wants to learn to get that revenge. So he's going to better himself. And what do you do to better yourself? Do you get 1% better every day? I have a friend who likes to get 1% better every day, she says. Right? So a reason to live. They've both got a reason to live. One is revenge. Priest has another reason to live. Do you read? Do you improve yourself? How much are you doing? Do you lift weights? Do you get to the gym? What are you doing to improve yourself, to build skills? If you think it's important to build better, stronger men for society, we would truly appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button right now and help us build better, stronger men. Now, you could be the one man to help someone else. This man is helping this man. You could be that to somebody. Friends can do that for you. So as men, take away this perspective of epiphoria. You're never too old, not too poor. Your situation is not probably as bad as you think it is. Epiphoria sees the situation as decent and able to get out at his older age. So you're never too old, never too poor, never too short, whatever these limiting things, statements that you say to yourselves, take them out, forget them. You're never too something, whatever it is to. See it as a different perspective. He's seeing everything as good. Mindset and taking action. Control your mind. So they have to dig way down every day, but be back in the position twice. Once to put the dirt back in because the slot opens up twice a day and they have to be there for that. So imagine you've got to get back up twice a day for your food, and then their excrement they have to give to the guard, but that's where they're putting the dirt because they have to hide the dirt. So creativity, boldness, showing all these manly traits, problem solvers, right? That's the way you solve a problem. You got 2 shots, you got to get the dirt out. So epiphoria has determined how to get out and determined how to conceal it. Using his mind to get out and solve problems. And now he's teaching Edmond Dantes to use his mind. Thinking, we talk about a lot in Restoring Men too, how important thinking is. How important friendship and thinking. This novel, this book, this movie, thinking, using your mind, friendship, all here. Now, why is epiphoria in there? He tells his story. He was a soldier. That's not why he's in there, but he was a soldier in Napoleon's army. He was ordered to burn down a church full of people. Now, here's why I'm putting this in. If ordered to burn down a church or asked to do something in your job that would harm others, would you do it? That's the moral question, right? He did it. It's brought him a lot of shame. He's embarrassed by it. But he dedicated his life to God afterwards, turned it for good. He deserted the army and went to work for Sparta, this man with a lot of gold. So there are moral questions you must deal with in life. If your company asked you to hide information or do something that you knew was harming the public, would you hide it? He was asked to burn down a church with people in it. So he's now devoted his life to God in repentance. You see, no matter what you've done, you can turn your life around today. He did. You can choose to help others and do good, and not just choose to be for yourself. You can choose to be a good friend and help other men. You can choose that today. Now, the reason he's in prison is he refused to give up where the goal was of the man Sparta. Napoleon wanted that goal. And he says a great line here: I've remained with only God for company until what? Until he sent me you. He's so grateful through this story. You really like this character. It's a magnificent character, such a good role model for men. So positive, so full of the cardinal virtues: faith, hope, love. Edmund still doesn't believe in God. He says, God is no more real than your treasure priest. Now, some of their trials and periods, they're so excited, they're going through so much, they get excited to catch a rat and cook it. It brings them great excitement. What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? Are you grateful for what you have? Because they're so grateful to catch that rat. We have so much, we can walk down to the grocery store and get anything we want at any time almost. These men were grateful to have a rat, and they had to dig every day 3 inches. Perseverance, tenacity, grit, they had it all. So these men don't have much at this point, but they do have what? Each other, a friendship. And he's building up the mind of Edmond Dantes. Listen, you build up your mind and you can accomplish a lot in life. Edmund is teaching, he's being taught the sword, and the man tells him the strongest swordsman does not always win is speed of hand, speed of mind. Now they have a breach where they're digging, and Epiphria his lungs are punctured and he dies. But what would you do in your dying moments? Here's what he does in his dying moments. He gives a final lesson, and he's more concerned with Edmond Dantes than himself. He says these words to Edmund as he's dying: use your head, follow the clue. He tells him he actually has the gold of Sparta, incredible amount of gold, and he knows where it is. He gives him a map. He says, use your head, follow the clue. When you escape, use it for only what? Good. That's his final lesson to Edmund. Do not commit the crime for which you know serves the sentence. Even at the end, he's trying to help his friend and move him forward. See, he's such a great character for men and role model. Still trying to help the world, still trying to make one better, stronger man who does good. Pushing him. At the final exchange, God said, vengeance is mine. Edmund says, I don't believe in God. This is a great line here, fantastic line. The priest says, it doesn't matter. He believes in you. So God, again, they keep God in this story. Now, Edmond Dantes is now using his mind. So when the man dies, they put him in a body bag or this little casing, and he replaces himself with it, and that's how he gets out of the prison. So he uses his mind to escape. He gets to an island, and here's the funny thing. He's yelling and screaming. He's excited. He's swam to this other island. He's killed the other guy. He's escaped by replacing himself with that body. So they carry him out and throw him over the side. He survives that. He gets to this other beach, only to end up with smugglers there. And they offer him a deal. The captain, chief smuggler, comes to him, and Thief says, I got a problem. You can help me get this Ready? You need to find my guy. Half my crew likes this guy, but he took from us part of our share. He should have given it up. So this man has done something wrong. So the smuggler wants Edmund to fight a man named Jacopo. That's an important name. They later become friends. Here's what happens. They fight, but instead of killing him, Edmund spares his life, and he uses his mind to make a deal with the smuggler captain. He says, I'll spare him, and then you'll get 2 men. Okay, and then you'll make half your crew happy because they like this man, and the other half got to see sport. The smuggler says, okay, why not take 2? So then he starts having to do smuggling with this man. Now, by sparing Jacopo swears allegiance to him forever. And by sparing him, by the way, they become friends. Will Jacopo keep his word? Do you keep your word to your friends? Men need to keep their words. Jacopo is beyond grateful at this moment. Edmund makes a good deal. So they've made it back to port, to his home, the smugglers. He's been working with the smugglers for months now. And the smuggler says to him, and sometimes you need another push. Obviously, they've become friends as well. And every other crew member has left to go in town, except Edmond Dantes and the captain smuggler. Head smuggler says, you got to get off this boat. You cannot make it right by staying on this boat. And this is true. You have to take action, right? You can't just stay in your past and reflect. You've got to take action. If you want something, you have to go for it. Get out of your head. Not let the past hold you back. He tells him it's up to you, Edmund. You need to get out. And that's what, right. It's up to you. You need to get out. You need to take action, right? We all do. I do. Everybody does. So what actions do you take? Do you let the past hold you back and stay in it? Or do you use the past to learn from it and gain wisdom? To move forward even when you don't feel like it? Because it's not a feeling, right? No matter how you feel today, you still have to take action to make your life better. This is kind of what the smuggler's telling him. He tells the smuggler, we are kings or pawns, a man once said. So do you use the past to become a king or a pawn? That's the question. It's your life and what you make it. That's the point here. That's the lesson. It's your life. It's up to you. You have to go make it. Now, when he says goodbye to the smuggler captain, he says, a man is always in need of a good friend. Well, we're going to stop here because restoring men in history is all about what? The virtues, courage, friendship, initiative, and all these different virtues. Friendship. You need friends in life. They enrich your life. They can help you and you can help them. It's 2 ways you should be helping them too. You should be listening to their problems. You should be hearing them. What can you do to help your friends achieve their goals? What can you do to help your friends get going? You can listen to them when they're down. You can ask yourself, how can I help my friends? And remember, through this story already, he wouldn't have made it. Edmund takes the advice of the smuggler pirate. He goes into town to find out what's going on. He does his research. He investigates. He goes first to see his old boss, the owner of the ship company, and he finds out he's not doing very well. Why is he not doing well? Because one of the same men that betrayed Edmond Dantes has betrayed the ship owner, and he's now in poor financial situation. But here's the interesting thing about the ship owner. Even though his situation's in dire straits and he's much older than Edmund, he says, I've had it easy compared to Edmond Dantes, and Edmond Dantes knows that this man was for him. Now, he does do research from this man that he used to work for, and he finds out that his father hanged himself when he found out that Edmund had committed treason. So he's lost his father, and remember, they had a close relationship. Now he asks about his girl, Mercedes. Have you heard anything about Mercedes? He asked the man. The man tells him she married Count Mondego a month later. It's heartbreaking. Imagine now you've lost this beautiful woman with this golden heart, and she's married the best friend who betrayed you. That's what he finds out. He's going to get revenge, though. He's going to come up with a master plan. He's going to get them all back. She's now Countess Mondego. She wed him a month after Edmund left, only a month. Imagine how that would feel. Love of your life tells you she's never going to take off a string, and 1 month later she marries another man. Now Edmund and Jacopo find lots and lots of gold, more gold than you've probably ever seen. And here's a good question. If you found all this gold, what would you do with it? If you had massive wealth, what would you do with it? What purpose would you use massive wealth for if you won the lottery? What would you do with it? And his friend asked him that. Jacopo says, what do you want to buy? Edmund says, revenge. And earlier he was reading a Machiavelli book. Comes up with this whole plot to execute this revenge. And you can transform yourself. He has transformed himself. This is one of the great parts of the story. He now becomes the Count of Monte Cristo, buys a big mansion, throws this huge opulent party, invites all his enemies and all the people of Paris too, because Countess Mondego and the Count have now moved to Paris. The other villain, Villefort, has moved to Paris. So they're all there. Now the Countess Mondego and Count don't come to his party, but he does. He flies in this big balloon. It's amazing. Fireworks, everything going off. Very opulent. Makes a big entrance as the Count of Monte Cristo. He has gone from a poor person who went to prison, who had no chance of life, to the Count of Monte Cristo, and known to all. And see, you can do that. You can transform yourself into a better, stronger man by reading, thinking, having friendships, and taking action, and getting on purpose. You can go from this to this. If you could hit the subscribe button and help us build better, stronger men, we would appreciate it.